Hello students. In last lecture we studied Elizabethan drama. In that we discussed first pre-Elizabethan period. There we took reference some university wits, and now we will discuss about William Shakespeare's contribution in Elizabethan period. The Elizabethan age is considered as the golden period for English drama. It is called as the rich flowering stage of Renaissance. England under the rule of Queen Elizabeth met with prosperity in all spheres. Being lover of art and literature, she always encouraged the poets, playwrights to produce. William Shakespeare, the world's greatest poet and playwright, belongs to the great age of Queen Elizabeth. He is considered the national poet of England and also as Bard of Avon. Sometimes the age is considered as the age of Shakespeare as it was dominated by his plays. He wrote for the public stage, fulfilling the tastes and interests of the audience for the times. In the words of Ben Jonson, he was not of an age but of all ages. Not of one country but of all countries, he is world's immortal poet. He wrote for the Elizabethan stage and audience, but he is read and enjoyed today not only by the English people but by the English speaking people throughout the world. He had the ability to lift the narrow world of the story to a higher, wider, and vaster world. He has dealt with powerful passions, with joys and sorrows common to all humanity. So his plays have a universal appeal that has made him the world's greatest playwright. Shakespeare's dramatic career roughly covers a period of 20 years, from 1591 to 1611. During this period, he wrote 36 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narrative poems, Venus and Adonis, and The Rape of Lucrece. He has written comedies, tragedies, historical plays, and dramatic romances also. Let's come to the Shakespearean drama. Shakespeare's earliest tragedies were influenced by Thomas Keats and Christopher Marlowe. His early tragedy, Titus Andronicus, was imitation of Keats' Spanish tragedy. His historical plays, Henry IV, King John, Richard II, Richard III, have tragic elements developed under the influence of Marlowe. But his real tragic art is shown in Romeo and Juliet. In fact, it is the first tragedy of Shakespeare. The personal gloomy life and Shakespeare to produce the 4 great tragedies, Othello, Hamlet, King Lear, and Macbeth. They are the dark tragedies that present the tragic vision of Shakespeare and his views to human predicament. These great tragedies were tales of sufferings resulting in death. These tragedies are the tragedies of character. His heroes are royal, dignitary persons whose downfall is caused by a fatal weakness in their own characters. In Hamlet, it is an excessive refinement of sensuality. In Othello, it is excessive simplicity of mind. In King Lear, it is excessive egoism and uncontrolled temper. And in Macbeth, it is inordinate ambition. And in Antony and Cleopatra, it is embroiled passion of love. Sometimes the fate of destiny plays a vital role in this tragic flaw of hero or heroine. On account of this weakness, he or she suffers terribly and ultimately meets to his doom. His downfall or ruin of high stately person creates cathartic effects, arousing pity and fear in the minds of audience. Shakespearean tragedy is the story of a single star. The entire story is revolved around the central figure, hero suffering from beginning to the end darkness, the story. This leads up to the death of the hero. The word of critic Bradley, it is a tale of suffering and calamity conducting to death. Shakespearean tragedy presents the struggle between good and evil. According to the great literary critic Edward Dowden, tragedy as conceived by Shakespeare is concerned with the ruin of restoration of the soul and of the life of the man. In other works, its subject is the struggle of good and evil in the world. The theme of this tragedy is struggle of good and evil in the world. In this struggle, the good suffers terribly and is perished along with the evil. The hero, in spite of his virtuous qualities, dies along with his opponent. So there is no poetic justice in Shakespearean tragedy. In true sense of justice, the virtue is not rewarded. In it we find that along with vice and the virtue is also punished. The good characters are terribly suffered and met with their tragic death without any faults on their part. Hence, in Shakespearean tragedy, only partial justice is made. In Hamlet and King Lear, the good is destroyed along with the evil. In Othello, victorious Iago is punished by along with innocent Desdemona is also victimized. The ruin of Macbeth is caused evil in him. Conflict is soul of the drama. The dramatic action is developed by the conflict. This conflict may be external or internal. The external conflicts may be between two persons, two groups, two ideas. It plays a significant role in Shakespearean tragedy. It causes to develop the internal conflict. The internal conflict refers to the drama in mind of hero. The hero is torn between two opposite forces. He is constantly pulled from both ends. On account of this internal conflict, the hero suffers the agony of health. Hamlet entangles dilemmatic questions to be or not to be. Othello is torn between love and jealousy. Macbeth is tormented between ambition and loyalty. King Lear suffers great agony on account of ungratefulness and treachery of his daughters. Superstitious audience of the Elizabethan age believed in supernatural creatures. Shakespeare wrote his tragedies supplying supernatural and melodramatic elements that were demanded by the audience, considering the taste and interests of the audience of the time. Shakespeare introduced ghosts, witches, wizards, magic, and other supernatural creatures. The themes of all four great tragedies are sensational. Macbeth has its witches, ghosts, and apparitions, its murder and darkened castle. Thrilling sight of Lady Macbeth walking in her sleep. In Hamlet, there is a ghost and grave diggers. The supernatural elements contribute for the developments of the action of his tragedies. Thank you very much.